Good day, everybody, and thank you so much for joining us for another episode of Splints and Whiskey. We are the podcast that talks to military medicine, first responders, law enforcement, and all of training junkies in the community. This podcast has now become global, and we thank you so much for joining us each week. This week, I am psyched because we have an all-star panel of law enforcement professionals. These guys are tenured. They come from uh, New York City, Atlanta, and Lorain County, Ohio. Together, I think they've got over 100 years of service. And so I am super psyched to hear what they're going to talk about today. I'm certainly just hosting today. My name is Liz Artz. I want to thank our sponsor. Our sponsor is Life Autonomous Care Consultants, and Life Autonomous Care Consultants sells gear, tactical, medical, combat gear, all the way up to medical simulations such as high fidelity mannequins, VR, AR, mixed reality, immersive rooms. So if you need anything for your requirements, we know your requirements and we're government procurement specialists. So please reach out to LACC, or if you want to get in touch with any of these guys after the show, you can always reach out to me on our website, www.thelizarts.com, and I'll be able to connect you guys, or you can certainly read everything in the feed. So, without further ado, I want to introduce Mike Folley, Monty Bynum, and Andy Bershad. And Andy is going to be our moderator for today. Very exciting. So, Andy, I'm going to pass the baton over to you. But before I do, I just want to thank you guys each and individually for your service and really for taking the time out of your busy schedules to join our community and be here today. So, thank you. Andy, take it away, my friend.
Thank you. Thank you, Liz, so much. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for having me. Andy Bershad. Appreciate Liz for pronouncing my name properly.
You're welcome.
Um, Absolutely privileged and honored to be sitting here with Mike and Monty. I'm going to have them do some intros in a second. We just some amazing conversation we've had, just even setting up and doing our sound checks. I'm sure we could run this show on for hours and still not tap into a tiny piece of the perspective, experience, and true professionalism that these gentlemen are bringing to the table, not only today, but over their course. So please feel free to interact and check in with Liz for any follow up questions. We are truly privileged to have them. Um, I'll start, Monty, with you just for the coin toss. Heads, congratulations.
Oh,
We're in the All in the Bold Head Club, so there was no personal appearance there. If you can introduce yourself, tell me a little bit about your background, how you got into where you are, and then we'll swing over to Mike.
yeah. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Liz. Thank you, Andy. Appreciate being here. Monty Bynum, 32 years of public service. Started, in Delaware. Originally, that's where I'm born and raised. Actually, my first, law enforcement job was in Ocean City, Maryland. Did that for a few years. Came home to Newcastle County, Delaware, where I served as a patrolman, and I did a little bit of investigations there. Eventually, said, "Hey, I wanted a new challenge," and finished my degree and joined the Marine Corps, and had the privilege of earning the right to be a commissioned officer there just before 9/11, where when I went in, it was peacetime. But by the time, I had about a year under me, we were in heavy with 9/11. And so kind of grew up there, had an opportunity to do some pretty amazing things, meet some of the best, individuals in the world when it came to Marines, second to none. I was deeply honored, to be a part of that organization. And like Mike, it's with us, man. It's part of us. Um, Eventually, found my way back into civilian life, just the calling back to being a cop again, and eventually made my way to Georgia. Worked on an amazing, police department, Gwinnett County, Police Department. I was a detective, undercover, officer there for a little bit. Um, Got an opportunity to serve with DEA on a task force on two occasions. Eventually got recruited by the Georgia Bill investigation, where I finished off my career as a special agent there for approximately 12 years. And the whole time, it's been a blast. I've been, honored and privileged to get involved in some amazing cases, and it's been a wicked ride. So
Yeah.
Oh, incredible. I know you're only watering down a tremendous part of so much more of your story. Thank you, Monty.
appreciate it.
Thank you
Thank
so
you. Yes,
much.
sir.
Mike, please tell us about yourself.
Yes, sir. So I got out of high school. I didn't have any clue what I wanted to do. I was getting a lot of pressure from everybody because, our generation was, well, you got to do something. You got to get a job or you got to go to college. And I was like, well, let me go talk to a recruiter. And Operation Desert Shield had just started off. So I was like, well, if I'm going to go to war, then I better know what I'm doing. So I went in the Marine Corps. And then from the Marine Corps, came home, went to the National Guard because I just felt like I needed to be a part of, that structure. And then one of my buddies said, hey, why don't we go get a job at the sheriff's office? And I was like, what do they do? Corrections, deputy sheriff, school resource officer, marshal task force, Northern Border Initiative, working with the detectives for the detective bureau, investigating stuff, kicking in doors, SWAT, range instructor, you name it. I've been blessed to be able to do all of it. I spent 26 years at the Lorain County Sheriff's Office, and it's the 8th largest county out of 88 in the state of Ohio. So it's pretty big. It's right just west of Cuyahoga County, which is Cleveland. So we all shared the same customer base. From there, I decided I wanted to go after something a little bit more challenging. So then I went to Lorain Police Department, and that's where I ended up finishing up my career. I retired in May 2024 after 2 weeks of trying to drink myself into a coma and watching reruns of SWAT. I picked up a military contract with Triple Canopy and hopped the pond and went back over to the sandbox. Had to come home because of some unfortunate stuff with my mother. She passed away.
I'm sorry.
I appreciate that. From there, I picked up with Cleveland Clinic Police Department doing the hospital thing, learning a little bit more about security. They're police officers, but at the same time, it's a dual role because you have to do the security and then you have to pick up on the fact that you're working for a hospital. So you got to do the community, the customer service base too, which is even more complex. But I found myself not feeling connected. So I just picked up a position at Sheffield Village Police Department, which is right here in the same county that I've spent my entire life in. So I'm gonna be doing that, and hopefully I can still be productive and keep doing what I've been doing this whole time.
That's awesome.
And no doubt you will. Obviously, both of you just with such impressive resumes of a lifetime of service. Whether you thought that you were going into and ready to be to a front line, I think our personalities kind of carry us that, oh, there's some action or a battle over there. I need to be there. I gotta get over there. I don't know how I'm gonna get there, but I gotta get there.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of our experience and our background has kind of brought us there.
Yeah.
All right. The road is definitely paved and it goes down that reason. You're put in places in these amazing positions and experience for a reason. Oh, again, thank you. My humble background, real briefly, we can sit over adult cocktails one day and chat more about it, but I'm retired New York City police officer. I was a detective assigned to the emergency service unit, which is the tactics and rescue specialty unit. I ran the tactical medic team and operated as a tactical medic for my team, which was very nice knowing that you had the comfort of the guys to believe in you. There's nothing better than the line guys around you, whether as an officer, I was a detective. And we were kind of talking before about how you might not be of rank, but right now you're the captain or you're the inspector or the general. I have no military service. I don't want to pretend to know it, but there was a lot of times I had new guys that like, well, congratulations, kid, you're in charge. You deal with everything. And I'd have these chiefs and inspectors and like, I've been here for 10 minutes. I probably shouldn't be the one doing this. I was part of the FEMA team deployed around the country.
Wow.
Monty, I was also an undercover in narcotics for a while. That was a lot of hair ago.
Love it.
Trying to get not the favorite part of my career, but have the opportunity and the privilege to train and both speak publicly, internationally as well as nationally, going on a lot of missions, more side contractors, again, non-military related, but going as support for a team as a medic or a security, executive protection along that line. But I've been on before. My story's been out. Much more exciting having you guys. Like I said, we had a little bit of chatter for the audience prior to getting to this, and I just have so many questions. I wish the show was 3 hours. So if we just see Liz kidnapped and duct taped, just I promise we'll let her go when we're done. Just don't call anybody. Don't panic.
After you shave my head.
You want to be in the club, you got to go all in.
That's right. Love it.
So, Mike, let me ask you, what was your motivation to start in the field of serving others? Obviously, you both guys have a tremendous multiple lanes of going through. I know you said, and we definitely grew up that way. I know I was personally more afraid of my mom than I was of my dad, but they were both very clear, oh, you're going to find something to do, or, there's going to be a death in the family.
So my dad's Vietnam veteran. He didn't exactly want me to go in the military. He definitely didn't want me to go in during a war. So
Yeah.
he was not happy at all when he found out that I was going in the Marine Corps. But that being said, he was very proud of me. And I don't know what led me that direction. It was just kind of like something pulling me there. Just like everything that I've done. Like I had no plans of being a police officer when I graduated high school. I was the asshole kid walking around making fun of the cop working in the mall.
That's still me, just so you know.
It wasn't like my career path or anything that I thought I was going to end up doing, but it just seemed like every time I turned a certain direction, I was going through that door that led me there to this door to this door. So it just kind of happened.
Yeah.
And thank God. Monty, same question.
Well, it's funny you say that. That's actually, literally, thank God. So, it gets all back to it. That's exactly you said. Just kind of, nah, man, that's what you were built for. And it's where we got to get back to and understanding like we were built for this. That's why my company's called a different breed. We are a different breed. And that's why it's so offensive when people just discount law enforcement, first responders. They don't grow on trees. When everybody else is panicked, we're the ones that step up and move forward like, hey, move out of the way. We're going to take care of this. We're going to end this problem. Mike, I suspect it was always burning inside of you to take charge and help people. So God bless you. God bless the both of you. I was raised by teachers, man. My mom was a teacher. My dad was a teacher. My stepfather, teachers. My father he was actually a major in special forces. So when I joined Mike, he was, not happy for a whole different reason because I said, "Hey, Dad, I'm gonna get my commission." He just assumed that I was gonna join the Army.
Yeah.
But so he just assumed. That's why he wasn't happy. But then, like yours, later he was happy and then proud. But I always knew, man. I always knew I wanted to be a cop. I wanted to be in the military and protect people. Can't stand bullies, and I cannot stand, people that talk out their mouth. They're so, they're so brave, and our politicians are so brave, and they know everything right. But when there's time to do something, where are they?
Usually hide behind us.
Usually hiding behind us. Exactly. I always supported them until it's not popular to be supporting. When we all grew up, it was very popular to be supporting, police and the military. Now, all of a sudden, it's not. They have to wait and see, well, what does the rest of the, public think? Reality is the public just wants us to do our job at a high level. They won't want us to be confused and not know what to do. But you got the media and some other thing trying to, paint it as us being abusive. No, when you fail to train your people at a high level, you fail to give them the funding that they need, bad stuff's going to happen. It happened in the past with the military, and that's what's happening now. We minimally train our people. We don't give them the resources that they need. Bad stuff's going to happen. And now all of a sudden, now you got the same guy that said, I loved you 5 years ago. Now I hate you because, some loudmouth over there says, it's the cops' problem. Okay.
Well, it's, I don't mean to bring this up so quickly, but
Yes, you've been waiting. Tag, you're in.
Let's go.
Ice was like needed. It was created for a reason, and we loved them. You know, you're going to protect our borders because look what happened on 9/11.
Right.
And now look at what's going on, all because of somebody's, you know, rhetoric. Now they're the bad guy.
Yeah.
No, they're not. They're cops. They're doing their jobs. They're lawfully there.
Right. That's the other thing too is, you know, be careful, you know, your criticism, because again, 3 years ago, you were the guys that everybody hated, but now now we would have done it differently. Really? I mean, really? Come on, guys. We're talking about tactics, and we should never, you know, be criticizing tactics because it doesn't look good when we have to put hands on. This is not SWAT on TV. It's ugly business. It's the ugly business. This is the reality, and that's been the problem is people watch too much TV. Well, I don't understand why Andy yelled at me because, you know, LL Cool J on NCIS, he doesn't yell at anybody. He just tells people to do and they lie down. Well, the reality is we got a bunch of people that are a bunch of knuckleheads. You know, they don't want to, you know, they want to have a court case on the side of the road and don't understand, well, this is probably not a good idea.
Right. When they're that compliant, I get nervous. Like,
mess around and find out. But you know what? But Andy, we can do your job. You know, I could do your job so much better. Oh, really? Here's a gun and a badge. A good friend of mine, Ryan Tillman. I don't know if you guys saw what he did. He did this amazing thing where he got with some celebrities and said, "Hey, you guys, I understand you're not so feeling the cops, but let's try this out." And he got them some celebrities to try it out, and they were talking a lot of stuff and just from what they don't know. And they put them all through the scenario, gotten, you know, the blue gear and everything like that. And man, don't you know, within a couple hours, they went through active shooter, they went through traffic stops, they went through all these things. And to a person, they said, "Man, I will never run my mouth. This is
awesome.
Unbelievable job that I cannot believe." You just don't know. And all you're hearing is poison. People telling you, well, good, these guys are terrible, they're Nazis, they literally eat their kids and what?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
What?
All the monster stories, and like you said, it almost seems cool to hate authority.
It is.
I don't know where that came from. With
Until
my
I
company
need you,
Flying
Andy.
Aces. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Monty.
No, until I need you.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? Look at Dallas. Perfect example, right? The BLM movement. What was it, 5-6 officers shot? Right? Even with our brothers and sisters shot and injured, who stepped up to make sure nobody else got hit? Everybody forgets that we're actually human beings, and we shudder that. I read an article years ago as a young EMT before PD and before becoming a medic, where to go in disaster. Do you respond back and protect your family, your wife, your kids, your siblings, or do you go where the bell rings? And I know the answer. We follow the bell.
Yeah.
You know, it was a big bump in my marriage with my ex-wife. I paid a lot of money to say that term. But during Sandy, you know, or even 9/11, you know, it wasn't, I ran for my life. So I think we're all protective of uniformed officer, whatever agency you're at.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to start picking apart. Well, and we joked before, the security guard at your local CVS, Walmart, you know, something like that. They're in a position of authority, right? When we were kids, our parents were a position of authority. If they told you something, you listened. If your friend's parents told you something, now they were in that position of authority. You better listen. Everything else is taking your life in your own hands, for lack of a better term.
But
I
you're
think
wrong, Andy. But all these young kids suddenly, again, they have the orb of knowledge. These 15-year-olds, 17-year-olds, these 20-year-olds, they know everything, Andy.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't understand. You know,
we
the
all
world is
did. We all
changing.
did at that age, but we grew out of it,
That's
right?
true.
Now you have 30 and 40-year-old kids who still know everything.
You're exactly right. We've got these adults that should know better and should be the adult in the room that are pandering to these people that, again, truth be known, everybody wants the same thing. I want to be able to, you know, have kids and have family, have fun, and not be messed with.
Right. How many times, and you get the encounters, and you had said it before, I think it was soaring eagles was the term you used. I like sheep and sheepdogs. I think we're all familiar, most of the audience is familiar with that term. And it's clearly in you guys. I like to believe that it was in me too. We ended up in our fields, and led. And I think there were a lot of people that took us under our wings that saw whatever it was in us, like, you need to be groomed to go to the next level, all right? Because
Yeah.
they were better than us. Somebody's always bigger, stronger, and faster. I don't care how awesome we are, good guy or
Yeah.
bad guy,
Yeah.
right? Like, oh, I'm going to
Right.
need 10 more guys, right? Everybody and their mother get here, over,
Right.
It's going to
100%.
be a problem. It's going to be
Yeah.
a problem. And like you
100%.
said, it's not pretty. It's
That,
not pretty to go
you bring up
physical.
a good point, Andy. That's the other thing too. Is like people just they have no idea. They're like, oh, I had to stop. 15 years ago, this cop he yelled at me, or well, he had to stop where it went really bad, and they got the Tarby at him, or he lost a brother, or we're not looking to get in a fight because we Mike and Andy and we have all been in fights where 2 minutes is a long time.
Oh,
2 minutes
yes.
is a long
Oh,
time.
yes.
Very
Oh,
long.
yes.
And a lot can go wrong. I had a friend. He's a state trooper for the state of Ohio. He got out of his car because somebody had called and said that there was a guy roaming in and out of traffic. So he stops, and he's on a rural road out in the middle of nowhere, and he starts engaging with this guy. The guy's not all there at all, and ends up getting into an altercation with him, and he literally bites part of his ear off. And
Oh.
we took from the sheriff's office to get to where he was. It literally took a minute, and we were all running lights and sirens. There was like the whole shift and the shift before it, 75, 80 miles an hour down this country road, a minute and a half to get there to him. And it could have ended so much worse because the guy was going after his gun after he bit part of his ear off.
Yeah.
So you just never know. So and it's none of it's pretty.
No.
When we have to go hands on, it's too late. And it can't be pretty, because if you're trying to make a highlight reel, God only knows what could go wrong, right?
Well, I can tell you the highlight reel doesn't look good at 1 pp in the mecca of internal affairs when there's a questionable job serving a warrant. That's all I'm throwing in there. When you got a 72-inch plasma TV and somebody's face explodes.
Right.
He came right at me, it's there. It's we don't lie. And I think the general public looks and they don't see past that. Like we said, that 2 minutes, right? Boxing is 3 minutes rounds. They right? 90 seconds, 3 minutes.
Yeah.
And they train for that. That's all they do is jump rope, train. I don't think we train enough. I think, budgeting and knowing to have that connection, but you can't beat manpower. Listen, I was blessed. I was in the city, New York. We did a lot of training, nationally, different stuff. And I'm like, hey, Andy, yes, what do you think? Like, I think you can't count on me, because I'm going to get on the radio and I'm going to have 100 guys there in a minute looking to kill you. Oh, do I need another 100 guys? Give me another 30 seconds. Blessing. I couldn't imagine not operating that way. We've all gone to that job on 2 wheels and hurrying and going, as fast as we can. But like that 2 minutes is forever. Fight for your life. Hold your breath for 2 minutes. Let me know how that works out for you. You're not even physically exerting yourself. Right? It's like when they tell you shoot the gun out of his hand. Why did they have to kill that poor guy, that poor woman?
Yeah.
Man, I want you to shoot at a paper target that's not shooting back and shoot that gun out of his hand. I'll let you train all week. And just shoot that gun out of his hand. Let me know how that works out for you.
Yeah. That training, the training needs to evolve. They've got to stop thinking that we can just get by with the bare minimum, because that's all we can afford. Well, we're talking about people's lives. I mean, how are we talking about what we can afford when it comes to people living or dying? And
Mike, could you imagine if I came to you as the captain of your team in the Marine Corps, and I said, Mike, that's all we got. We got 10 bullets. Send them out, and let's train the best we can. Could you imagine?
I feel like I've had to imagine that, because I worked at a department where they literally counted the rounds that we were going to use, because the state qualification said you need 50 rounds. So here's 50. Good luck. And it's like, wait a minute. Like, you need to go back to the guy in charge and let him know that to do this, we get that he's a politician and he needs to be reelected, but we need to do more. So he needs to spend
Why
some
do you suppose?
money.
Why do you suppose that Like, why does that matter there? Why do we need to save money here at the police department as opposed to like I don't? I can see like we do some silly things where we spend money in other places, like here in Georgia. Yeah, I was with the state of Georgia. I remember a couple years back we spent like $3 million or some silly campaign to like incentivize people to go fish.
Yeah. But not to train.
Not to train.
Not to train the police officers.
No,
It's
but go fish.
Yeah. That's a waste of money. Why do we do that? Why would we do that?
Yeah.
We're going to train for a tower. Oh, one day the plane's going to hit the tower. That'll never happen. Stop it.
Yeah,
Right?
right.
Let's go out and buy buses.
Let's build it so high that they'll have to steer around it. But don't worry, nothing's ever going to hit it.
Yeah, it'll be fine. I mean, what are the odds?
We literally live in the world of what if. But then everybody wants to stick their head in the sand and pretend like it's not going to happen here.
Yeah.
So
I blame us though again, and that's where we have been. We enjoyed that quiet professional thing. It's time for us to get loud and say we're going to make you look and see some things because honestly, I'm responsible to Andy. I'm responsible to Mike. I'm responsible to Liz. If you don't want to hear the reality, that's on you. But I'm responsible for these folks. And I'm gonna, I'm gonna make sure that they're safe and their families are safe and they understand the truth. You don't want to tell the truth? Okay, kind of like what you said, Mike. The reality is this. I've been on those task forces. I've seen all the money that has come in. 2015, we got a lead from a source. It was telling us Iranian Republican Guard has a ton of money all over the U.S. Flash forward to 2025, we've got people pouring into this country that don't like us, regardless of immigration. I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about known terrorists.
mm-hmm.
That's not a big deal. It's no problem, no problem. So they got plenty of money, and now they can come in here and do whatever they want. But that's not a problem. Don't worry about that. Worry about Trump is mean, or this person's mean, or the other person, or Republican or Democrats, or I don't care.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's funny because that's so much the mindset for all of us in public service. We'll use the president just as an example, and I won't put out Trump and make anybody angry or not angry. I don't care if you're a transgender, 3 boobs, wheelchair-bound president. Do your job.
Right.
Do your job. Right? Support. Listen to wonder if I got the captain telling me, listen, my team needs vests. They need updated ballistic gear. They need more ammo to train with, or we're going to have a bad day, right? We're as good as the people we surround ourselves with. And I find so much of the frustration for me is the self-confidence of like, no, we don't need that. No, you guys don't need to train anymore. You'll be fine. Whether it be ballistic shooting, de-escalation.
Is it self-confidence, do you think?
I don't know if it's self-confidence or if it's just ignorance.
Ignorance of politics.
Maybe, I think they're both the same thing.
Right. Yeah. Everybody answers to somebody. Right? There's some sort of accountability. I'm sure somewhere there's, I hope to get promoted to some political office or the next stage, whether it be political, corporate. I see it now in the corporate world where I have clients with, more money than all of us times 10 combined. They're like, oosh, I don't know about that CPR training or that stop the bleed training. Like, there is an incident every week, Anytown, USA, with just some basic bleeding control, airway breathing, circulation, manipulation, your basic combat lifesaver. PD isn't going to magically appear. Kazoo, we're old enough for the Flintstones. Here's the medic. Here's the bus. It's not going to happen. And we're everywhere. And I said that on our downtown job, the Halloween terrorist attack we did. You guys are out there. You're out walking with your family. I'm out with my family. You have off-duty cops, firemen, military, medics, nurses, doctors. They don't have any tools. They have the knowledge to do it. They're with their family. I've left my own family on the side of the road in a car. Stay here, call 911, don't get out of the vehicle. Like, someone needs our help. And I'm sure we've all pushed that envelope. Now I'm not with my family anymore. Not that our uniform family isn't our family, but there's that expectation. we all knowingly went in knowing that we might go to work one day or get deployed and might not come back. Right?
Yeah.
It's a harsh reality that we all we understand it. That was our choice.
Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. Did you know? I don't think I ever. I don't know about you guys, but I don't think I ever really knew that or think. I don't know. Maybe I was just in fantasy land. I'm always coming back, and maybe like that was somebody else. You know what I mean? Because I think you would drive yourself crazy.
Yes.
I
really
always
didn't
wonder
know.
that too. I always
Yeah.
wonder that too. If do you
Because
use
I would be really risk averse. There's some times where
that
like,
right?
man, I think like too, like I need Andy's squad when he's 100 boys because I only got like 10, and there's 4 of them in there.
I
And
was blessed. I was blessed.
There's
yeah,
been there had been some times where we worked the entire county with 4 guys, and
Ugh.
I would have to go to calls by myself where I would just be going, this
Yeah.
is tactically not a good idea, but okay. And you just kind of, I guess today's a good day to die as opposed to any other. If it's got to be
But
today,
I
it's going to
love
be like this.
Mike. I love how Monty put it though. As much as we expected that we might not survive, at no point, like I always felt like I was Wile E. Coyote. I'd be
Yeah.
the guy kind of feeling the ground. Oh, was I supposed to fall down and drop to my bloody screaming death? Like
Yeah.
we don't accept it. We all think, and I teach it all the time. You guys, we don't have that big full head of hair, obviously, minus Liz. We don't wear that cape under our clothes that's really there. We're not Teflon. We're not bulletproof, but we always acted that way because we can't get killed.
Well,
I'm the rescuer.
Monty will tell you this. We knew we had to be the one to go through the door.
Right.
We didn't always want to, but
Right.
we knew we had to. So,
Yeah.
and if I'm
Yeah.
going to go through the door, you better make sure that you're ready for me because the
Yeah.
thumping you're going to get when I do get through that door is coming.
Yeah, I'm bringing it. If you're making me come through, I'm bringing it.
Yeah,
It's always funny when the guys are like, "Oh, I'm not afraid." And we all know we got enough experience. Like, oh, that's the guy to stay away from. If this
Yeah.
guy's saying he's not afraid, somebody asked me the other day, "Weren't you afraid?" I'm like, "Yeah, I just didn't." We just didn't succumb to it. We put that in a little box and put it away. I mean, we can't. Yeah, of course I was afraid. And
Of course you're
it's
afraid.
that,
It's
it's
human
that new
nature.
guy that's like never afraid. Like we do not
Yeah.
want to mess around with that cat.
Yeah, they're reckless. Not reckless, I guess dangerous. All right.
Yes, because they don't know what they don't know, and they're all
Very
doing
right,
dumb stuff.
right.
Very
And now we got to
unrealistic.
go save their ass. Yeah.
Right. Now you're putting other uniform officers or rescuers in danger. Right?
Right.
And that's why
I
it's
used
so
to have a
important. Everybody
supervisor that was
moves with the
like
purpose.
that. Yeah, I had a supervisor that was like that. I mean, he was the best example of him. He was like General Custard.
No,
Like,
that
what? Like he was a leader, and he was leading from the front. But boy, yeah, looking around, I'm like, okay, I guess we're doing this.
Arizona, see, there's only 6 of us. He thinks there's 6,000 of us.
Man, I can tell you, like, boy, there were some times where we were fighting our way out. I'm like, God, I'm gonna beat his ass when we survived this. But he was one of those guys that would like blaze. I mean, he led from the front. So,
And I think that's tremendous. We were talking about leadership before, and I was a leader as a detective. I was blessed. I had the responsibility, the medical aspect, the survival and well-being of my team. So I was looked at differently. Senior guy in the unit. I did 20 years in the unit, besides the department. So looked at as a trustee, as a captain, is a lot of these roles. I think that's important for grooming and for following. All right. Like you said, for rule 101, lead from the front. I would never ask you, me personally, I would never ask you to do anything that I wouldn't do. And if I'm not in front of you, I'm next to you. And I'm gonna go to bat for you as long as you're truthful with me and you gave it all. Because we're in a field that requires, this is not a lie zone. This isn't a bend it. Well, what I meant to do was no. Answer for your mistakes, answer for your achievements. Right. And I believe we mentioned before, maybe it's just inbred in my brain as a boss, praise in groups, chastise in private.
yeah.
Right? You don't embarrass the men. And again, this was from a non-boss. I ran the program. The medics were mine. I've chastised bosses. absolutely privately, or I'd be
Right.
still collecting tolls at the Verrazano now.
Right, right. But you said a good thing. Here's a lot of things that and so we're big on ADB training and a couple other things that we do in leadership. Is it's always funny where people kind of get this wrong, and Mike knows this as a Marine. Leadership doesn't start at corporal or sergeant, or it starts at the very number one person. And as us as first responders, we are the leader, period.
Yes.
And we're leading each other on the squad. Again, if the better way of thinking of it as being on a SWAT team, that team concept, we're responsible for each other. It's my fault if I let Andy show up all dicked up and I don't say anything. I don't square him away. That's my fault. And that's leadership. Instead of like, oh, well, I don't know what's going on with Andy, but he got his ass shut off because he wasn't there. You didn't check on him.
Right.
And that's our fault.
Which is
we
terrible.
don't do that.
Yeah, we don't. And it goes all the way back to the very beginning with your field training officers, getting new guys, and then they don't necessarily like them. And now they're going to not train them the right way. Or they don't want that guy because, he don't look like us, or he doesn't act like us, or he doesn't drive the pickup trucks, and he doesn't go hunting. Like, there's all these different reasons that these guys would come up with when the FTO was never really vetted. He was just the guy who's been there for a little while. So we were like, you know what? You want to train? We'll give you a few extra dollars or something.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And then they get him.
Sounds great.
They get some new guy in the car, and they go, sit over there, shut up, don't ask no questions.
Don't touch the radio. Everything on this half of the RMP is yours. Don't touch anything over here.
And now,
when did we like, Lena, this is what I keep challenging these chiefs. I mean, when did we start to think that, like, being punishment heavy, that was going to make you, motivate you to be risk averse? Because bottom line is this job it's all about risk and taking risk. But we'll punish them for late reports. We'll punish them for dinging a patrol thing. But never mind the fact that this Michigan trooper saved all these lives because he rammed his car into a vehicle going the wrong way. We want to ding him? He just saved a bunch of lives. When did this become the thing? Like, punishment is like instead of like coaching. Okay.
Right.
We don't need to. If we got a good organization, we'll square it away. We'll have that private conversation, like Andy said. We'll have it in here and like, hey, I don't know what happened. It's not normally how you roll, Mike. What happened? You bumped your head, but this is not how we do it. I don't know, boss. You're exactly right.
Right.
But we're like, hey, we're gonna give you 2 hours.
Is that part of the creation of what makes what people see us in law enforcement as crazy? Right? Like, I may or may not have totaled the lieutenant's brand new car on a pursuit that I shouldn't have been involved with. I made the collar, closed it per robbery. I mean, if I did.
Right.
I came out of a very, very busy precinct. Andy, I got to tell you,
wait a minute. Can I just put a pin in this for a minute? Why does the lieutenant have a brand new car?
Because they've,
because I got to look good going to lunch.
They get the good stuff. And then
if you saw the sergeant, it was a miracle. But I took care of it for him. I made sure that he didn't have a brand new car. I totaled it. And it was kind of, 30 days on foot, Andy, nothing personal. Like, hey, I get it. No big deal. And other bosses would come out and like get in the car and shut your mouth. Like, all right, and then he'd kind of fight it back. But why do we, and that's what we always have the story, right? Maybe it's that dark side. Well, the cops don't like anybody. They're the retards. Yeah, we do kind of climb into our own world because it seems like everybody's always after us, right? Fire or other responders will go into a situation. I'll use EMS too. I'm a medic as well. I go into somebody's house and we had an allegation one time that, we were in a less than desirable neighborhood and we ended up rolling with the guy. It was intox and we allegedly stole his $2,000 Rolex watch. That guy couldn't spell Rolex. Right. And the only reason we got cleared from it was because I was a cop working as a medic. And then they believed me as the cop in court. So now when we're constantly getting hit, and like you said, well, you saved a bunch of lives. All right, maybe you don't want to bring the guy to medal day. I've done rescues where I didn't have all of my proper safety equipment on. I'm not bragging about it. And well, how do we highlight this? Because you didn't have your harness on, or you didn't have your ballistic helmet on, or you didn't do this. Now we can't use it. But there's got to be more support. And I've seen it so much in bosses, at least in my own department and around. I've had the blessing of teaching around the country. You guys tell me what you find. But why is it that constant stigmatism of, oh, you saved 80 people, but you took the wrong car, so I gotta give you a hit.
if I can throw something in on this, it's because
Please.
You're taking away from them looking good. It's their selfishness. They don't like it. I'm sure Monty will agree with me. This culture that we climb into, I don't want to be in there because we're so terrible to each other. It's unreal. I went to a call, handled this domestic situation. Long story short, the family ended up the couple needed to get back home. They didn't have any money. They didn't know how they were going to get any gas, so I bought them gas. And then the other trooper that was helping me out went in and bought them some food. Well, somebody took a picture of me paying for their gas, and then sent out something and posted it with one of our cop Facebook things. I don't have Facebook, so I was irrelevant. I didn't know anything about any of this. So my sergeant that was working, somebody tagged him in it, and he saw that. Well, he thought it was great. He was like, here's one of my deputies doing something above and beyond to help a citizen. So he sends it to the sheriff. The sheriff is like, he sends a reply. He's like, that would have been great, except for Folley wasn't wearing his hat.
Hey.
Excuse me? A hat? You didn't see the value in what was going on? I mean, all of it was unbeknownst to me. I didn't know anybody was doing any of this stuff. But because I wasn't wearing this silly cowboy hat, that's what you have to say? Not great job, that's nothing. And
Wow.
it's because in his
we're
mind,
trained to be leaders, and they're not mission focused.
I wanted to get back to you on that, Monty. Perfect. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
It's not. Again. Just imagine. Again, you imagine coming in back to the Marine Corps. Like yes, we have strict policy and stuff like that, but also again, when it got down to it, we're mission focused, and it's just nuts. That's absolutely nuts. We don't know any better, and it is not about us at all. It is a responsibility to take care of our troops, and we don't. We don't at all, and we create this. All we know at best is, we're trained how to be managers. Well, that is the recipe of a toxic environment. That's why we have it. These guys are just. I don't think they're all assholes or evil, but when you put people in positions that heightens their selfishness, because that's what we are as individuals. We're selfish. I mean, that's by design, and it's
right.
Self-preservation.
Right.
That is why leadership is actually a skill, because you have to train to put Mike's interest ahead of mine. It's not natural. So that's a skill that you have to develop. Like, I got to think of Mike first, and Andy and Liz. Are they being taken care of first? Not me. Not do I have the brand new car? Well, Mike's actually doing all the work. Maybe he should have the brand new car.
Yeah. Hmm. Yeah, there was that story that I liked that Mike from our interview, and this is, I think, Monty, when you brought up, could you imagine if you were in the Corps and this happened and these certain things that just wouldn't have happened in the Marine Corps. And Mike had this really good story about kind of a new, I guess, a rookie that came in that was Army. He was Army before. We came in and he wasn't part of the gang in the beginning. Like, he wasn't part of the team. And instead of bringing him into the Brotherhood, it was like they had him eat separately. And Mike saw him and went and sat with like ego
Yeah,
central. And you wouldn't see that,
he was the new guy. He hadn't earned the right to sit at the table with everybody to eat breakfast at the same place we would meet all the time. And I was like, you guys have lost your mind.
Yeah.
Like, since when is this what we do? And but then again, that goes back to FTOs. They've got to be your crown jewel, because if you're trying to create a better environment where people are going to feel that brotherhood, right? That thin blue line that we always want to talk about. Well, it seems like it disappears the minute you get hired and now you're new. Nobody wants to talk to you. You can't be a part of this or that or whatever else. It's like, wait a minute, like, this is what I wanted to be a part of. Your FTOs, they've got to be taught how to be
Mike,
FTOs.
I agree with you. Here's the thing, and this is the thing that we do all the time. And well, we're like, hey, it's at the middle, it's at the beginning, it's at the top, it's all of it. You know what I mean? If we don't know the same language, we don't understand the whole how this whole system works. It's important that the sheriff reinforces the culture that's supposed to create, why we want to serve. If the sheriff's over here, being or the chief being a jackass and does not reinforce, pouring into his people and all that, it doesn't matter what the FTO. Eventually, it will be poisoned. That's again,
Spills downhill.
that's the
Spills downhill.
broken, model that we have. Yes, it can help for a little bit until we hit, cat and Bynum there. That's a jackass and it's all about him. But if we don't have the whole everybody won, that was the magic about the Corps. We understood the essence. Was it perfect? No, but we understood what good leadership was supposed to look like, so we could see it pretty quickly when it wasn't there. And that's what we don't have in law enforcement. We don't have a centralized understanding of what leadership looks like and verbiage. They don't even understand. We do things what's community policing? What's evidence-based policing? What does that even mean? We're
It's
buzzwords.
Hug PD. It doesn't work. It
The Hug
doesn't
Slug
work.
program. I've been there before. I know what that's
Yeah.
all about. Yeah. Yeah, you're definitely not wrong. And I just think that if you're going to start, instead of starting from the top down, let's start from the bottom up. Because eventually, through attrition, they've got to go, and it's just a matter of time before they're out of there. So if we can get,
You're a more patient man than I, because I'm like bullshit.
well,
You get, get out of the way. You know what I mean? Like, again, if you're not going to lead, follow, or get out of the way. Truthfully, you don't
Very
have
civil servant, though. You don't have
Yeah.
that luxury of you're an idiot, Andy, so you need to go. You're not getting with the program. It's we definitely had guys, bosses, boots on the ground guys that were just speed bumps. And it spreads. Cancer spread. If you don't care, and we said from the top, from your immediate supervisor to the leader to the sheriff to our chief of department, it has to show. And like you said, set that arena of, hey man, this is how we operate here.
right.
My squad at the truck, my sergeant was actually a Marine Corps leader. He was a lieutenant. He was one of us. He was just, a clown, for lack of a better words. But man, when the bell rang, I loved following this guy. I consider myself a leader. I would go through fire if he said so, because I believed in him and he took control, but he had real leadership classes. And I'm not beating down on any department, but there's not enough time to it. And some people, it's just in them. I would love to say I've had I sat through a year of programs as a leader and I'm the best. I learn every day. And with all the hats that we've worn, we all learn every day. We're not so, well, I guess I'm maxed out. I've learned everything there is to know. Said no one ever. Or the guy that does, like you said, I'm not afraid. You wait over there. You keep the car and drive. We're all going to come over here and handle we're going to handle the job.
Right.
Funny.
What's a call that you guys had? I mean, if you remember when you first got started, where you're like, looking back, thinking back to your experience, like, man, I should have bought the farm on that one. Do you remember a call like, oh man, I made a mistake on that one. I got lucky.
There was a lot of those. That's the problem.
Early on.
I had being a deputy sheriff, you had to do stuff on the highway, stuff on the side of the road, all types. But if you've never ran traffic on a highway, it's a whole different animal. And I found that out one day, and I should have bought the farm. Where this guy, I don't know what I thought. I thought he was going to be able to see me in my my black shirt with my dark colored pants and my non-reflective everything. But he missed me by the smallest of margins and got my car, and somehow he was okay. But that was one of those instances where
Jeez.
I wasn't doing any of the stuff I was trained to do and should have done because it was at the end of the shift, and I thought I was just going to get this hammered out really quickly. And yeah, that was an eye opener, and that was maybe 6 months into the job.
Ooh, yeah.
Wow.
Wasn't your day. The book is written. I'm a true believer in that.
Yeah.
Right. For whatever reason, I'm going to go over here and grab a soda first. And, the building you were about to go into exploded, or there was a shooter, or, I've walked in and plain clothes into robbery in progress is, in a non-law enforcement manner. Like, ooh. For me, it was, I grew up out in Long Island, outside of New York. And we had responded to a shooting. My second day there, I actually had 9 people shot along one of the major avenues. I didn't know people actually got shot. I thought it only happened on TV.
Yeah.
And a few months later, we were responding to a job. I had multiple people shot, and it looked like it was crapping out, and they started shooting at us. Or it was probably a gun battle in the projects that was going on while we were there. And I was still doing EMS. I was an EMT at the time, not even a medic. And the cops hit the ground, ran into the car, and just took off. It was a very high crime area that just, will let the dust settle. And I just kind of stood up. I didn't know I was supposed to hit the ground. I didn't know I was supposed to hide. I'm not Teflon. They don't just bounce off me. You can't shoot me. I'm the Band-Aid guy.
Right.
And I realized it after, oh, that could have ended very differently. But the cops ran. Why didn't I run?
Right.
I figured, no, I'm just the EMS. I'm the ambulance. I'm here to help you. You're not going to try to kill me.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
How about yourself?
Well, mine was one of the ones I remember is my first time doing undercover. This is back in the day, you guys remember Miami Vice, the original Miami Vice.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
And I thought I was just the coolest dude. I had an assignment where it was a cool assignment. This was in Pocomoke City. You only had 13, officers there. It's on the cusp of Virginia and Maryland. And the chief came to at the time I was working undercover in Ocean City, and came and said, "Hey, we got a problem. Half my department is corrupt and half is good. I don't know. I can't, but we have a severe crack problem, and I need to borrow one of your UCs." And so I got sworn in, and nobody else knew this. I got sworn in by the chief and the mayor, and for a year I worked undercover. But mind you, I hadn't been trained really, truly. All the things you should not do. I literally could have written a book on things you shouldn't do. And on one occasion, I put the bad guy, put the person I was buying dope from in the car behind me. Didn't know what was in her bag. Drove me from Maryland into Virginia. Bought dope in Virginia. Didn't know where I was. Couldn't tell anybody. Didn't know. Come find out, I had my informant with me. Yeah, she had a gun. Could have been shot. Could have been dumped in Virginia.
Wow.
Nobody would have known where I was. But all the mistakes that you should know better. So anyway,
they come, and kudos to being an undercover. I was an undercover. I loved it, but I hated it. I guess I hated it now much more when I was doing it. Yeah. And we had one where I got a gun. It's cool. You got a what?
Right. That's funny.
Gosh.
I never got to do undercover work because I was always too recognizable. I'm that guy that everybody looks at you and they go, "Hey, you're either a cop or military, right?" And I'm like, "Shut up."
Yeah, because me and Monty blend.
I can tell you, I had one time that I had a lot more hair and I had this going on. Yeah. And I remember one time we were on a wire, and clearly it was this was a signal that I probably should start working out. So I'm following the bad guy. We're going off through these neighborhoods, and whatever. It's a guy. It's a mule. He's got a bunch of dope. We can't figure out we know it's in this neighborhood. We know the stash locations in this neighborhood. And what they'll do is they'll try to they want to do a heat check. So pull in and then flip around on you real quick. Well, he pulls into a neighborhood. I pull a little bit behind him. Well, before I can kind of pull off somewhere and not burn myself, he's coming back. He's coming back out. I'm like, oh crap. So I whip it in and I pull into this house and there's a for sale sign. I get out and I act like I'm looking at, to see what this house is for sale. And so all of a sudden I get a phone call and they're like, hey, Monty, are you at that house? Where you at? I'm at this house. It's for sale. The guy did a heat check. Okay, well, I got good news and bad news. Good news is you found the stash location. Bad news is he said, hey, yeah, boss, there's some fat Mexican at that stash location. I was like, all right, Steven, I gotta go get on my health kick now. So yeah, I can still remember that. I didn't know whether to be mad or happy. I was like, yeah, and we had been trying for years, and fat Mexican. Immediately started doing this and
Oh my God, that's
working
awesome.
out, man.
That's awesome.
Hilarious. That's hilarious.
Oh, the things we've done, man.
I know.
There's
Man,
only
you
the stories
guys
we
are-
can repeat.
Oh, yeah, that's exactly right. That's exactly
You guys
right.
are awesome. This has been killer. I feel like I want us to meet again. I mean, I'm like, this is these. You're just. Thank you so much. We're coming up on time. Sadly, I'm so sad we're coming up on time. So, any last minute thoughts or Andy, do you have any last minute like or kind of a last question or maybe a last
Yeah, so
word each you guys
just to
could
lighten the
leave
mood,
for the listeners?
yeah. So again, my shameless plug I'm about to launch my own podcast. Hopefully, Mike and Monty, I would absolutely love to have you as a guest. I'll
100%.
kidnap Liz as well. She has no choice. She's used to my shameless plugs. I can't thank you both enough for your service, for allowing me to be a part of this and moderate this. Liz, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Some of the things in my time in PD makes me a little curious. So I just had a couple of questions for you guys. So Monty, favorite cop show? Would you say Starsky and Hutch, SWAT, or Adam 12?
I think Starsky and Hutch. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
my
think
man.
Yeah.
All right, Mike. What got you into this? Would you say? Well, no. Forget that one. I'll give you the music. Lori Partridge or Marsha Brady?
Marsha Brady.
Really? Not Lori Partridge?
Marsha Brady.
I don't know if we could be friends, bro. I'm a little hurt.
I
Monty,
love Marsha
favorite?
Brady.
Yeah, Marsha Brady. No, Lori Partridge. Come on.
I like Marsha Brady. I'm with you, Mike.
Monty, dog or cat?
Oh, dog for sure.
Dog.
100%.
Big
dog.
Mike, little dog or big dog?
Well, I'm sure you've heard my big dogs barking a few times. It had some.
I did give my shepherd a face mushy when she tried to wander on camera here before.
Nice.
It's gonna cost me a couple of treats. Liz, if you had a cat, hair or no hair? You like one of those weirdo pink, I just got born fetus cats?
Say, gross, don't want a cat, but if so, hair.
Hair. Okay. Good answer.
I'm a dog girl.
Okay. Yeah. No, we love our dogs. And
Yes.
Monty, I'll give you the last question just for going last. Favorite cartoon hero, Underdog or Mighty Mouse? Who would you rather have in a fight with you?
Mighty Mouse. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
they're
man.
like
Yeah.
purebred, whatever. I probably shouldn't remember that off the top of my head. But just some lightness to remind everybody that as amazing as these guys are, all of you on here, we are human. We do have a soft side. We do laugh. Don't be afraid of us. Just listen to our orders in a controlled manner. I think the vast majority of this audience all has that same expectation. Please join me and both of you, please, if not separately, I'm more than happy to buy, but join us on the ACES briefing. Liz will have my information up. I'm the CEO again, Andy Bershad of Flying Aces. I can't tell you what a privilege it's been, not only again hosting, but to have the time and to be in front with you, Monty and Mike. Thank you so much for that. Thank you for your service,
Thank
gentlemen.
you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Hey, thank you so much. And Monty, do you call it, are you CEO? CEO,
Yeah, I
is that
guess
your
for now until
title?
I get fired. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, I didn't know.
Yeah,
Don't
yeah.
Some
tell the
people-
boss.
some
I
people-
feel like Liz has got. She brought me here for intervention. I guess did you hear it? You got fired.
Yeah, exactly.
I just want to let you know you're no longer the CEO of your companies.
No, I
These
didn't know if
companies
you
fired
said
you.
Yeah, you
I
got,
knew it
like,
was
a
a
lot
safe
of
place,
companies.
Andy, that we can witness.
Some people go by president, some people go by CEO, some people
No,
go by principal.
truthfully, I go by emperor. So yeah.
Okay, yeah, emperor. Okay,
Emperor.
well,
Lead
Yeah.
singer, driver of the Winnebago.
an emperor of many things, but
King of all I survey. That
but
it's
a different
big
breed
deal.
training is his company as well. And then my hero, Mike Folley over there, is on the streets every single day. Oh my gosh, making it happen. So I want to thank you all for being here. Thank you to our listeners. We will, guys, stick with me for a second when we stop. But anyway, thank you to the listeners. I know that you were going to get a lot out of this podcast today. I know that I certainly did. And we look forward to catching up with you next week on Splints and Whiskey. Have an awesome, awesome day.
Be safe, everybody. Be safe, gentlemen. Thank you.
Cool. Thank you.
Thank you.